Senator Jon Tester of Montana has a seat in the chamber, in the back of the chamber. And thank you for joining me, Senator. I've been watching you. You've been paying close attention. I've seen you alert in there. What have you gotten especially from this last day?
Well, I think it just is building on one day builds on the next one. Each session builds on the other one. But I think it is pretty obvious. And like I said, we haven't heard the defense team yet. But it's fairly obvious that President Trump withheld tax dollars for his own personal benefit to corrupt elections. And I could go through the evidence again if you want because it's in my head. But the truth is that before this started, I thought the charges were serious. I think the prosecution has laid out a solid case. I think they'll get done tomorrow evening, I would anticipate. Then the defense will take over. I don't know what's going to happen, but I hope the defense, if they're going to defend the president, does a better job of engaging on the issues that were put forth by the prosecution. I don't want them to pivot away and talk about stuff that the prosecution didn't talk about. I would rather have them focus on what the prosecution has put forth as evidence and try to knock that down. I think that's the only way. If you don't have that kind of situation, it's the only way you can make a decision. And then I also hope that we get witnesses, that have firsthand experience, and when we get information in, because there's a lot of information out there that we could have that I think would help in our decision making. And as I've said earlier, I think that it's really important. President Trump should want this. If President Trump is innocent in what's happened here, he should want that information. He should want those witnesses to come forth so that we can question them too to get to the truth.
You're saying that the last couple of days have provided more evidence to you. It sounds like of wrongdoing by the president. Where would you say you are on whether he should be convicted or not? Are you inclining that way or not?
So we haven't heard the defense
yet.
Yeah,
so
right. It's all, of course. We're all hearing the one side of the prosecution. I think the prosecution has done a great job, and the prosecution has put forth examples of what happened with withholding a White House visit to withholding aid to an ally that hits home.
You live, I think some would call it Trump country.
Yeah.
The president won your state by over 20 points.
Yeah.
You won your race by 15,000 votes.
Yeah.
It's well known here. How do you think residents of your state, especially those who have supported the president, might see this trial? How do you talk to them about how you see it, which might be different?
It's a great question. I think the people of Montana want to get to the truth. They want the truth. They don't want this to be a sham. They don't want it to be a political circus. They want it to be the truth. Now, I will tell you, there are a lot of people out there that are trying to make this trial into a sham and are trying to make it into a political circus. But that's not what the American people want, and that's certainly not what the people of Montana want. They want us to get to the truth. They love this country, just like the people I serve with the United States Senate. They want this country to be the greatest country on earth for a long, 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 long time to come. And they want our kids and grandkids and future generations to have the opportunities that our parents and grandparents gave to us. So they just want to get to the truth. And make sure that we do have three co-equal branches of government, and make sure that we do have checks and balances within the system, and make sure that we do have a president that's not above the law but under the law. And I think all that's really important. And I think what happens in the next weeks or months, however long this takes, is going to be critically important as to finding out where we are as a nation.
A last question, quickly to follow up on that. Do you think that how the House handled their part of impeachment was fully fair? Did they do enough to give the president a chance for his side?
Look, I think they asked the president for information, and the White House responded with zero. I think we can always talk about procedures. I think that's more of a pivoting off the issues, and I hope we deal with the issues. That's what's really important here. We can always claim that the procedures aren't fair, and this person didn't get their day in the sun, or that person didn't get his day or her day in the sun. But the bottom line is, from what I know now, is the president was asked for witnesses. They subpoenaed witnesses. They stopped communication coming forward. They stopped witnesses from coming forward. That is not a good sign. And I think that without the checks and balances, without the accountability, without the witnesses that we can really question further, I think that people are going to say this doesn't pass the smell test. But we'll see.
Senator Jon Tester of the great state of Montana, thank you for joining us. We want to hear more of your thoughts as the trial continues.
You bet. Thank you.
Thank you.